a statement like this, right? And you got to apply a little bit of psychology here to understand how this CEO operates, right? When he says, the Uber CEO says, he tells the staff and the company will cut down on costs and treat hiring as a privilege. It's basically saying, hey, it is a privilege that you are working for Uber, for the brand Uber. It's a privilege. It's probably the most arrogant statement, the dumbest statement I've ever heard from a CEO. That's not what you tell your employees. That's not what you tell your engineers. That's not what you tell your drivers. That's not what you tell your delivery drivers. Hey, it is a privilege to work for Uber and for me, right? Because what that creates is this like king on the top here and all the peasants, and you down there, thou shalt listen to me. You work for me. It's a privilege to work for the king, right? Here, Dara, just basic psychology 101, right? I could teach you a lot. That already creates a massive rift. And listen up, engineers, listen up, employees, listen up, legal people at Uber, because I know you watch my videos. You're being played. You're being played. The only persons, the only institutions that Dara listens to, let me make this clear, are the investors. Not to you. Your input as a driver, your input as an engineer, your input as a worker, employee there means nothing, right? Everything this guy does is for the investors. And I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you in the letter that he has written to you, because he's talking down to you and saying, hey, you know what? Be careful, because I can chop you anytime. I can chop your numbers. I can chop your salary. You work for me, for the institution. You work for the investors, and understand this is a privilege. Now, Dara, you should feel privileged to have such an awesome workforce called the drivers, right? Because they're out there with the wheelbarrows every single day bringing you the cash, right? So if anything, he should feel privileged that he has such amazing workers, right? Don't turn it around on us and say, oh, you should feel privileged to work for us because we're such a great brand. Dara Khosrowshahi, let me remind you, your brand is not doing very, very well. And I tell you why. It's because of your leadership, and it's because of the fact, just firstly, let's look at Lyft, right? Let's look at that graph, right? Let's look at Lyft, right? That's a clear signal that something within Lyft is not working. And then let's tell Dara how his company is doing today, right? Because his approach, this arrogance, is simply not working, right? This is not how you treat people. This is not how you talk to people, because then your graph looks like this, right? All the way down, all the way down. This is patético, pathetic. In Spanish, patético, right? $23. And then you come up with a statement like this. Now, engineers, employees, drivers, we're not going to be played by this fool. We're not going to buy into this bullshit psychology and like fear psychology. Oh, you should feel privileged because you're working for us. My advice to you is, if you are an engineer, if you are an attorney working there, if you are an employee, pack your bags, right? Because you're sitting on a ship that is literally tanking, right? You're sitting on a ship that is tanking, and your little king, almighty king there, is telling you it is a privilege that you work for me, for the investors, for Uber, because that's all he listens to, right? And I'm going to prove this to you because, you know, found this letter where he addresses, he says, Team Uber. Now, you would think that we're on that team as well, right? You know, it's the team of engineers, the team of attorneys, team of employees. You'd think that delivery drivers and drivers are on that team. No, we're not on that team because he's just simply too good for us, right? We're not on the Uber team, right? We are treated as those peasants down there. Hey, bring in the money so we can pay the salaries. But your formula is so effed up, right? And if investors follow this fool, I'm just going to tell you straight up, dear investor, and I'm going to call you out, right? Let's before we jump into the letters, right? Who are the biggest investors at Uber? Well, SoftBank, you've been played, right? Your leader, Dara Khosrowshahi, is playing you, right? He's a fool. You need to let him go. Google, you've been played. The Saudi Arabian government, led by that prince, you've been played, dude. This guy is no good for your company, no good for the people, no good for the drivers, no good for your stock, right? So dear Saudi prince out there, if you want the stock to fly, and it can, and you can make even more money, you got to get rid of the virus. The virus is called Dara Khosrowshahi. He has no clue how to run this company, right? So some of the major stockholders here, this is who he tries to please in his verbiage. These are the guys that need to wake up and see this guy is no good for you, right? Because if you are not able to build a solid team as a company where everyone respects the leader and is excited to work, right? 99% of the people frown upon, they spit on Dara Khosrowshahi, right? They think he's a joke, he's a clown, right? So SB Cayman, two limited entities affiliated with Benchmark Capital. Benchmark Capital, you got to get rid of this fool, right? You're sitting on $23 and you're wondering, why is it performing so poorly? It's because you have someone who does not understand how to talk to people. You do not use that word privilege. It is, you should feel privileged to work for us. That is the most arrogant approach I have ever heard from an attorney. Instead, the verbiage would be, hey, we are a team, right? We are a team of drivers, delivery drivers, engineers, lawyers, employees, janitors, whoever all the people work at Uber. We are a team, and let's find a solution to make this company work. But to look down and say, hey, you guys down there, you better watch out. This is what he says, we'll cut your costs because it's a privilege to work for us. I would walk from that company, right, with that approach, because it's just going to go further down. And these guys are going to see their stock go down and down, right? Entities affiliated with Expa, Public Investment Fund, entities affiliated with Alphabet, right? Matt Kohler, right? These are directors and named executive officers that have shares in the company. Matt Kohler, do you know who you have working there for you? A fool, right? Look at the stock. You want to know why your shares are performing so poorly, right? Because apparently it's a privilege to work for you. Travis Kalanick, you led the company, you had more personal skills, you drove the company. A lot of people want him back, right? Garrett Camp, Ryan Graves, Thuan Pham, Dara Khosrowshahi, right, who's a major shareholder in this company, right? Ronald Sugar, Ursula Burns, John Tain, Barney Harford, Wang Ling, Ariana Huffington. Get rid of this fool and bring in a CEO that wants to work as a team, right? Because we're on that team. There's these millions of drivers bringing in the wheelbarrows of cash are on your team. And the further you alienate them, the more you talk about your engineers and your employees and your lawyers and your drivers. It's like, oh, it's a privilege to work for us investors. No, it's not. We are the team. We make the money. And if that is your approach, we leave. If there is so much disrespect towards all of these individuals, why, I ask you, why are you still working for this company? Why? Right? Why are you working for this company? The same goes for many of the owners, whether it's the Vanguard Group, Fidelity, Morgan Stanley, Jennison Associates, BlackRock, you need to get this fool out, right? You guys need to turn this around. This is atrocious. This is embarrassing. And your superior leader, who feels more privileged than everyone else, is not doing you well. So flush the fool out, right? Like, let him out. Straight out. Pack your bags. Get out. Right? Bring in someone that wants to be a team player and start working on some of the fundamentals. Get some of the things right before your stock can start climbing. There are some really, really basic changes that this company can do to get things right. So he says here, Team Uber, after earnings, I, the privileged king, spent several days meeting investors. There we go. Investors in New York and Boston, right? So basically in plain English, after my stock tanked, right? I met with the investors in New York and Boston, and guess what they said, right? It's clear that the market is experiencing a seismic shift and we need to react accordingly. My meetings were super clarifying, and I wanted to share some thoughts with all of you. As you read them, please bear in mind that while investors don't run the company, they do own the company. And because they do own the company, they hire fools like Dara Khosrowshahi who F's everything up, right? Who messes everything up, right? So, and they've entrusted us with running it well. So he's basically saying, in reverse psychology, they've entrusted us and you to run it well. And right now, you are not running it well, right? You are not running it well. And hence, we had a meeting over this, right? So don't buy into the psychology, right? Because he's playing you. He's playing you. The person that is not running the company well is Dara Khosrowshahi himself. It starts on the top, right? You got to chop on the top. Don't play the blame game. In the psychology here, because he entrusted us with running it well. That's like a subliminal message saying, well, the investors put the trust in us to run the company well, including you guys, and the stock is pretty screwed up, so we need to do something about it. Basically, we are all the problem. We get to set the strategy and make the decisions, right? You make the strategy and make the decisions. Don't push your blame onto we the team, right? He's talking to the team, we the team, right? You guys there on top, you guys set the strategy and make the decisions. We get to set the strategy and make the decisions, but we need to do so in a way that ultimately serves our shareholders and their long-term investors. So here again, you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You are not on the team. The team consists of the shareholders and their long-term interest. You are secondary, tertiary, you are on the bottom. You are the peasants, and you should feel privileged, right? I mean, this letter tells you so much about this incapable CEO playing mind games with you, playing you. And if you don't see it, and if you don't believe me, stay there, right? Stay there. And at some moment, just make sure you have your lifeboat ready. Right? Because when you hit that iceberg, you haven't even hit the iceberg yet, right? You better have your little canoe, you better have your little kayak, your raft, or your little escape mechanism ready, right? Because you're going along with this BS, right? Well, drivers are not going along with this BS because drivers are standing up. People are protesting around the world. You have protests, you have strikes. I have started many national strikes because we're like, hey, we are not going to put up with this psychology. We're not going to put up with this game. We're not going to be played, right? Drivers are too smart for that. We're on the street and we understand the lingo. If engineers, if attorneys want to buy into his psychology and feel like, oh, he's more privileged, and I as an engineer, I should feel privileged to work for this fool. Go ahead and buy into that BS, right? Go ahead and believe that little story, right? Because I'm telling you right now, there is one person, there is one institution only that this guy listens to, and that is the investor, right? So do not bring up the word team, because team to me means you got your coaches, your assistant coaches, your players, your backup players, your referees, everyone. And we should be considered on that team, right? And I find it insulting. I find it insulting when he talks to them like this. I find it insulting when he talks to us like this, right? Because I am not going to feel privileged to work for Dara Khosrowshahi when I see how he treats millions of people, right? How those attorneys fight and stop and steal and take tips, and get sued over and over and over again because they squeeze these drivers like lemons and oranges and try to extract every little drop out of them. That, my friends, is not a team, right? That is some little arrogant prick on the top who talks down to you like a peasant and says, you should feel privileged working for me. I think I've made my point. I think you know where I'm going with this, right? So, number one, in times of uncertainty, investors look for safety. Interesting. Investors look for safety. I'll tell you what, another bunch of couple of million people that look for safety are drivers, right? But apparently we're not on this team. They recognize that we are the scaled leader in our categories, but they don't know how much that's worth. Channeling Jerry Maguire, we need to show them the money. Really? Channeling, listen, folks, listen up, right? Channeling Jerry Maguire, we need to show them the money, show the investors the money. How do they get that money? Hello? From a couple of million of drivers, right? How do they steal and extract more money? Michael Hannigan, thank you. Throwing down the one. I appreciate you, my brother. How do they extract more money? Well, they're taking away ridiculous rates from the riders, overcharging, right? I'll give you a little example. This is what Lyft wanted to charge my client the other day. This is what makes my job as a private driver so easy. If you are trying to charge $554 for a Lux Black XL, which is a 50-minute drive, right, from LAX to Calabasas to my turf, $554. I'm going to get business all day long. I can do that same trip for half, for $250, right? And in 50 minutes, I've made myself $250. So if this is how you want to treat riders, and by the way, this is Lyft, the Uber screen was exactly the same. The rates were exactly the same. So firstly, channeling Jerry Maguire as Dara Khosrowshahi said, we need to show them the money. Well, you're not just showing them the money, you're ripping off the money from the rider. Rider, you're being played, right? Dear rider, you're being played. Dear engineer, you've been played. Dear staff member at Uber, you've been played. Dear lawyer at Uber, you've been played. You're going to be kicked out soon and replaced because they're chopping. And guess what? Dear driver, you are being played because our percentage has dwindled from 75-25 to 70-30 to 60-40 to 50-50. Now we're making 40 to 50% and they're making 50 to 60, sometimes 70%. We've been played. And and after we've been played, we're supposed to treat this like a privilege, right? So basically, fuck me over, right? And I should feel privileged. It's plain. I'm going to say it as it is, because that's what I do in this channel. Black or white, my friend. There's no grain zone. Basically saying, hey, we're going to fuck you over, and you should feel privileged about that. How do you feel about that? I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about being played and screwed over and squeezed like a lemon and then told I should feel privileged. So there is something fundamentally wrong in this company, dear investor, when you have idiots like this, right? They should just be slapped out of their office, slapped out, say, hey, pack your bags, grab your computer, grab your little Gucci bag, and get the F out. Get out. Get someone in that can talk the lingo. Get someone in that understands the language on the street and knows how to turn this company around. Because this here, you know what, this here, I'm sorry, but this is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing to the investor. This is embarrassing to the public. This is embarrassing to us, because those numbers are not healthy, and they could be so healthy. They could be so healthy, right? You could have the stock trading at 75, 80% if you had the right individual, not the king peasant model, but the person that's willing to come down to that same level, meeting of the minds, get down to street level and say, let's act as a team. Let's work together and resolve things. Let's fix the broken things in our system, and let's make this company healthy. But no. That is not how Dara thinks. As he's making it very clear, that's why I'm reading his message. There is one person he bows down to and blows daily, right? And that is the investor. So in times of uncertainty, investors look for safety. They recognize that we are the scaled leader in our categories, but they don't know how much that's worth. Channeling Jerry Maguire, we need to show them the money. How do we show them the money? By taking away from the driver, by overcharging the rider, by screwing over the engineers, by screwing over everybody else in the company, giving myself a $42 million salary because I'm Dara Khosrowshahi, and we will show you the money, dear investor. We have made a ton of progress in terms of profitability, setting a target for 5 billion in adjusted EBITDA in 2024, but the goalposts have changed. Now it's about free cash flow. We can and should get there fast. There will be companies that put their heads in the sand and are slow to pivot. The tough truth is that many of them will not survive. You may not survive with that attitude. The average employee at Uber is barely over 30, which means you've spent your career in a long and unprecedented bull run. This means you have spent your career in a long and unprecedented bull run. This next period will be different. Oh, get ready, engineer. Get ready, driver. Get ready, rider. This next period will be different because we are going to bend you over a little bit more. Right? We've bent you over. Now we are going to bend you over a little bit more. And I'll tell you what, there's one part that's been left out on this team chat here, right? Which is not going to be bent over anymore. And that is the driver. That's the gig workers. Because they're fed up, right? And the investors know that the drivers are not returning. The people making them the cash are not returning because they are not addressing core fundamental problems. And that is, are you assisting us with gas, right? It's a real issue, right? Gas pump, I filled up yesterday, $5.90 per gallon. Are you helping me? Are you willing to help me through this period as a team player? Oh no, I'm too privileged to pay for your gas. Go screw yourself, go pay for your own gas. See how you survive. Okay, if that's the case, I'm not working for you. And then, oh, That lady got shot in the back of the head. That guy got stabbed. That guy got bitten. That girl got raped. That girl got sexually harassed. That guy got hit on, right? On and on and on and on and on and on. But no, you know what? I am too privileged to fix those issues. I am not going to address safety. And if people rise up and say, hey, you're cutting our pay, this doesn't add up. This doesn't add up. I cannot survive Monday to Monday on this type of money. I am too privileged. My name is Dara Khosrowshahi. I work for the investors. I am too privileged to address your pay. Then please, I ask you, dear investor and dear company, don't be surprised. I don't want you to be surprised. I don't want you to blame, right? I don't want you to act like Jerry Maguire, show us the money, when you are in self-destruct mode and you are not fixing things. You're not fixing the fundamental problems of your company, which are so easy to resolve. Let me carry on. So investors finally understand, it's like sort of insulting, right? Dara Khosrowshahi. So, investors finally understand. So they never understood before. Now they finally understand. Your language, dude, is so effed up. You're talking down to people. You're talking down to us drivers. You're talking down to engineers because you are simply too privileged, right? That doesn't go over well. Investors finally understand that we are a completely different animal than Lyft and other ride-sharing only platforms. No, you're not. And I've made a video on this. This is investors finally understand that we are a completely different animal than Lyft. You are not a different animal than Lyft. You're pulling the same crap that Lyft does, right? You're not paying for new referred drivers, right? You are not paying incentives and surges. You're not allowing drivers to set their rates. You're cutting them. You're screwing over the rider. You're not giving them specific rights. So why tell me you are a different animal to Lyft? You are the same animal as Lyft. And the reason why I say this is because your graph is going the same way. If you were a different animal to Lyft, you would be performing different, but you're right down at the bottom, just like your competitor, right? That you say is a different animal. No, they're not a different animal. They're in the same crap because they have been pulling the same crap every single day. So don't think that we are fools to fall for your language and saying, Uber is a different animal to Lyft. We are more privileged. No, you're not. You're pulling the same BS algorithms. You're doing the same crap. And you're not governing. You're not leading. You're not managing. You are self-sabotaging your company because you have a bunch of incompetent fools working for you, right? So they are incredibly excited about the pace of our innovation, how quickly we are rebounding. I want to hang on one second. The investors, are incredibly excited about the pace of our innovation. So you started this drone technology where you elevate, we're going to fly, right? So you had these innovative ideas, but you canned it, right? You started self-driving cars at Uber, but you canned it. So why are you preaching innovation when everything you've actually started has gone to ruin or you've sold off? You don't have any innovation. You cannot hold on to any innovation because you are too damn incompetent. So I wanted to say, every line here you could just flip straight on the head because he is playing you, investor. Investor, he's playing you. Engineer, he's playing you. Driver, he's playing you. Janitor, he's playing you. Attorney, he's playing you. But you guys are still listening to your little privileged leader. While they acknowledge that we are winning, they don't know the size of the prize. This here, my friends, is psychology at its best, right? Playing the people, sending them subliminal messages here. While they acknowledge that we are winning, they don't yet know the size of the prize. Their questions run gamut from has anyone other than you made money in on-demand transport to ride sharing has been around for a while. Why isn't anyone else profitable? Well, why, ask yourself, Dara, when you're writing this letter, why isn't anyone, including yourself, profitable? Right? Have you ever looked in the mirror and said, why is my company not profitable? That's my question to Dara Khosrowshahi and the investor. Has your superior privileged leader ever looked in the mirror and said, why is the company that I am leading not profitable? We've told you why. But hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Let's just blindfoldedly follow this guy off the cliff. Right? Let's just follow this privileged leader blindfoldedly off the cliff. Number 3, investors are happy with delivery growth coming out of the pandemic and see what we have performed better than many other pandemic winners. I think a lot of the companies in the pandemic are actually spanking you, right? I think DoorDash is running circles around Uber Eats, so not buying it. I'm sorry, I'm not buying it. I must admit, that was a bit of a surprise for me because I firmly believe delivery should be growing even faster. The primary questions were, is delivery a good business and why? And what happens if we enter a recession? We need to answer both of these questions with undeniably strong results. So he's expecting more from you, engineer. He's expecting more from you, dear delivery driver and driver, but he is not willing to compensate you for your efforts. He is not willing to treat you as a team player. But we need to answer both of these questions with undeniably strong results. We need better results from you. You should feel privileged working for us. Investors who asked about freight love freight. However, less than 10% of them asked about it. Freight, what type of a statement is that? Investors who asked about freight love freight. However, less than 10% of them asked about it. Freight needs to get even bigger so that investors recognize its value and love it as much as I do. Oh, okay. So I can see where his passion is, freight. Just said it, right? Meeting the moment means making trade-offs. The hurdle rate for our investments has gotten higher, right? The hurdle rate for our investments has gotten higher. You have made pathetic investments, Dara. You need to take ownership of that, right? You need to take ownership of the fact that you've made some pathetic investments, right? Stop playing the blame game. Stop, Scott Tucker's in the house, I acknowledge you. Stop pointing fingers and blaming other individuals. You have to take responsibility. And investors, he is not willing to take responsibility. And investors, you are not willing. You're too scared to chop on the top, right? Tell it as it is. Dear investor, you are too afraid to get rid of this fool. We have started to demonstrate Philly chauffeurs in the house. Spank Dara, here we go. Spank Dara, spank Logan, and the rest refuse to drive. Thank you for saying that, my friend. Until these companies raise and pay us, bring us safety. Yeah, and until these companies start treating you like a team player, right? I do not want to be addressed as the team when you are not really being genuine about the fact that these people are team players. In fact, you're not even being genuine at all. You're leaving drivers, you call them earners now, right? You call them earners. Or they're not drivers, they're earners, right? They earn for us. But we're on your team. We make you the money, right? Where, dear investor, is the mention of the team player, driver and delivery driver? The people that actually make you the money. So continue down this path, this arrogant, privileged path, and see where you go. follow this guy blindfoldedly off the cliff. Watch. We have to do all of the above while continuing to deliver an outstanding and differentiated experience for consumers and earners. He says, we've started to demonstrate the power of the platform, which is structural advantage that sets us apart. As you know, our strategy here is simple. Bring in consumers on either mobility or delivery, encourage them to try other, and tie everything together with a compelling membership program. The advantage here is obvious, but we have to show the value of the platform in real dollar terms. You are not showing the value of the platform if you are ripping off riders, if you are ripping off restaurants, if you are ripping off drivers, right? If you are ripping off the people that make you the money. You can't show value of your platform. The advantage here is obvious. We have to show the value of the platform in real dollar terms. We are serving multi-trillion-dollar markets, but market size is irrelevant if it doesn't translate to profit. So profit over everything. And feel privileged, by the way. You should feel privileged, right? So the same goes for anyone who comes to Uber to earn. We responded to the pandemic by becoming earner-centric. You know, you're the earners. Michael Hannigan in the house, thank you. High five, great success. We are revenue arm of the company. He is overheard. Amen. Amen for speaking the truth, right? Because he simply does not listen. You're right. High five. Thank you for saying that. So the same goes for anyone who comes to Uber to earn. We responded to the pandemic. He's talking to us. We responded to the pandemic by becoming earner-centric in a way we'd never been before. We are innovating for earners. By the way, earners, he's talking to you, drivers and delivery drivers. You're now earners, right? Thinking deeply about the experience and putting ourselves in their shoes, literally by driving, delivering, and shopping ourselves. Oh my God, I have never, ever heard such a lie, right? I have never heard such a damn lie, my friends. King Will, thank you so much for throwing down 5. I appreciate you. Thank you. Right? I have never heard such a lie. Let me repeat this lie so that people can understand how deep this lie and how deep this really goes. How deep his bullshitting really goes. Indy, we need to chat about the course. So the same goes for anyone who comes to Uber to earn. We responded to the pandemic by becoming earner-centric, you the earners, in a way we'd never been before. We are innovating for earners, for you guys, thinking deeply about their experience, about your experience, right? And putting ourselves in your shoes, in the driver's shoes and in the delivery driver's shoes. Literally. He thinks literally by driving, delivering, and shopping ourselves. Because you've conducted one task, because you have done one trip, Dara, because you have done one delivery trip and one rider trip and one shopping trip, and you think that you have put yourself in our shoes. Please stop lying to drivers, right? You are not even remotely trying to put yourself in our shoes, right? Because if I look in my shoe, I don't see a Dara Khosrowshahi or any executive in there trying to get into my shoes and understand how it works. There is nothing there. I'm shaking. There's no Dara, there's no executive coming out of my shoes. You are not in our shoes, my friend. Let me repeat, you are not in our shoes. So, because of hundreds of improvements in this area, people who want to earn flexibility are now coming to Uber first. No, they're not coming to Uber first. They're demanding things first before they come to Uber. They demand safety. They demand better pay. They demand gas assistance before they come to Uber. They're not coming to Uber first, right? Stop lying to the fucking drivers and delivery drivers. Stop your pathetic fucking lies and start speaking the truth. Because as long as you keep on buying into this guy's bullshit psychology and his games and his little mind games, you're going to go off a cliff. And we're smarter than that, my friends. We're smarter than that, right? Because when we get to the cliff, we know, the drivers, no. You're not going to lead us off the cliff. We are going to find other ways because we are too damn smart and innovative to fall for your shit. That's a fact. But let the other people, let those engineers follow you off the cliff, right? Because your leader is apparently a little bit more privileged. Because of hundreds of improvements in this area, people want to earn flexibility are now coming to Uber First, where they benefit from our scale, diversification, and commitment to treating them with respect. Stop fucking lying. We do not like to be lied at, right? And we are treating them with respect. This is Dara Khosrowshahi. Do you feel respected? I don't. And the hundreds and hundreds of people that I talk to daily don't feel respected, but he says we are treating them with respect. How about being honest and saying we are treating them with disrespect? Is it that hard to speak the truth, Dara? Because the fact is you are treating them with disrespect. So don't put this big announcement out to your team who should feel privileged and tell them that the earners, those guys that drive for us and actually bring in the money, they're called drivers and delivery drivers. You know those guys, right? We are treating them with respect. I laugh at you, fool. I've never been more certain that we will win. Well, this phrase, I've never been more certain that we will win, every quarter when he gets spanked, every quarter when Dara gets spanked down, he says, I've never been more certain that we will win. Really? How long has this certain or uncertainty gone for, Dara? 10, 12 years? I don't call this winning, Lyft. I don't call this winning, Uber. It's time you start speaking the truth. It's time you start treating people with respect and cut your disrespect and your privileged manner that you talk down to people. Come sit down with me, Dara, for 2 hours, and I will teach you how you get respect. Come and sit down with me for 2 hours, Dara, and I will teach you how you can manage people and make them love you or look up to you. Because right now they spit on you. So I've never been more certain that we will win, but it's going to demand the best of our DNA, the hustle, the grit, and category-defining innovation. In some places we'll have to pull back to sprint ahead. We will absolutely have to do more with less. We have to do more with less. We have nothing, but we have to extract more juice. We are doing nothing for these people. However, we need to extract more juice from the drivers and from the riders. We need to do more with less. What type of person says that? What type of person says that we need to extract more from less? Because it is the less where you got us, Dara. You got us down here in the trenches. And now you expect the people to rally out of the trenches because they have been following your bullshit from day one. There is no leadership, and I'm sorry, I have to be very direct with these investors. You have the wrong person on top. You have the wrong team on top. You have the wrong CFO. You have the wrong CEO. You have the wrong Chief Legal Officer, Tony West, because they are all involved in a big, fat lie and con, and think that we are going to continue to respect them. No, we don't respect them. We spit on them. Millions and millions of drivers. I talk to a few hundred drivers every day. They think this guy is a fucking clown. Yes, let me repeat. A clown. So, remember who we are, he says. Remember who we are. Hey, Dara, we know who we are. Drivers know who we are. The problem is, you don't know who you are. Right? He says, remember who you are. There it is. We know who we are. The problem is, Dara does not know who he is. And he does not know where he's going. Because he is like this in the dark. Where am I going? Where's the cliff? I don't know where I'm going. No direction, no leadership. We are Uber. He says, we are Uber. Oh, we're the Vikings. We're privileged. A once-in-a-generation company. A once-in-a-generation company that became a verb and changed the world forever. You sound like some fucking dictator, you idiot. Right? You sound like a dictator. Come down from your high horse. Come down from your little privileged throne and mix it up with the people. Right? Let's write the next chapter of our story. I don't want to see the next chapter of your story if this guy is still on the throne, working together as #one Uber, right? Why don't we distribute this video and put #one Uber, right? Let's get it viral. Let's show this fool who he is, right? Because he does not know who he is. Let's write the next chapter of our story, working together as one Uber, and let's make it legendary. Go get it. Dara Khosrowshahi. Excuse me for saying this, right? But when you say go get it, drivers go get it every day. They figure it out, right? We go and get it every day, right? I train up hundreds of people to become private chauffeurs. We start our own companies. We know how to go get it when we don't get it, right? And right now, how are you going to go and get it with Uber when you're not getting it? You're not getting it. You're not getting fuel assistance. You're not getting pay. You're not getting safety. And then you say to us, go get it, Dara. No, Dara. Let's step aside here for a second. Let's just, let's go into a little quiet room and have a one-on-one chat. When you say go get it, you have to deliver it first. You are not delivering, so we have to figure it out and we have to go and get it, right? So I hope that investors see the light before they get led off over that cliff, because it ain't looking healthy, my friends. It ain't looking healthy, right? Let's inject some minerals in there. Let's inject some vitamins. Let's inject some direction into this company, and let's get some health going. Sergio, listen, let me give you a shout out to Sergio. He's in the room, and I actually owe Sergio a letter. Sergio is a contributor for Harry Campbell, the rideshare guy that I respect, and I respect Sergio 150%. How about the top 10 executive salaries, a cool 100 million? Public information. Why does this cab company with an app need overpaid 23,000 employees? Start cutting on the top. Sergio said it. I could not have said it better than Sergio, right? And Sergio brought out an article that I owe him a video where he got these continuous threats, right? This is how they treat us, right? Like, they think we're fools. They think that Sergio is a fool. He's not a fool. He's made you so much money. But Uber and Lyft don't turn Sergio or the rideshare professor against you. Use your strongest assets, right? Why do I have to go from the biggest recruiter in the company, the king of referrals, right? And then you wipe out $1 million of earnings, which I still want to get paid on, right? And I'm sorry, I'm not letting this go. This is my hot potato. I then become the biggest recruiter for attorneys and funnel drivers into lawsuit after lawsuit to get them paid. Sergio's the same way. He's not going to put up with your threats. He say, "Oh, we will deactivate you if you do this. If you don't stick to your acceptance rate, we will deactivate you," right? We are not going to live with those threats. No, in fact, we are going to go and get it elsewhere because we are not going to allow ourselves to be bullied by little algorithmic threats. Oh, hey, little boy or little girl, careful, you're going to be deactivated if you don't listen to the privileged guy, right? It's not how we roll, man. It's not how we roll, you know. Sergio helped build this company. Sergio has done thousands and thousands and thousands of trips. Don't treat him, or don't think you can treat him like some stupid fool or imbecile because he's too smart for you, right? Cherry pick, cherry pick, cherry pick, cherry pick. You got to figure out the ways how to make the money. Don't allow these fools to bully you with algorithms and threaten you, right? Because in these times, the only way you're going to make money is if you cherry pick. Sergio says, Dara Khosrowshahi is having a come to Jesus moment. His alphabet soup is coming to crashing end. No one is buying his BS either. Neither Wall Street. Amen, dude. This guy, Sergio, has a way with words. I need to come and pay you for some consulting lessons. Just the words. You can't be more clearer, right? Than Sergio says it straight up, right? He is having his coming to Jesus moment, right? Because as he says, Wall Street and the people are not buying Dara Khosrowshahi's BS anymore. And please, if you're in the house and you have not smashed this thing, it looks like this. Hit that like button, right? Like Dustin would always say, hit that like button. But now we're gonna slap Dara until he listens. Until he listens. He listens. Percy Puente in the house, Maseni's in the house, Chris B in the house, Big Swole in the house. Chris B says they took my $60,000 Lexus off Uber XL and black SUV, bait and switch. I'm going to sue them. Oh, and by the way, you guys are going to love my next video. You're going to love my next video. I think I'm going to push it out in a few hours' time because it really, really is going to show you how you can fight back, right? And I know for a fact that I got under this legal team's skin because I've exposed their flaws and they fucking hate me. Okay, that's fine. I don't have to please. I don't work for the attorneys at Uber or Lyft. I represent the drivers. I am a driver advocate, right? And if I will expose flaws in your legal system, I will exploit them, right? I will exploit the legal flaws, right? And I'm going to show you how you go after these companies, right? And if they have baited and conned you in that car and then they've taken you off and they've told you, oh, this is, yeah, that's okay. You go out and buy the car, we'll put you here. And then go and sue them for the $60,000. I will show you how to do that. And then I get an email from these arrogant attorneys saying that, oh, your people there, the people that you are teaching, They need to go and get their own attorney. No, you don't need your own attorney in the United States, in Sweden, in London. You don't. You can represent yourself. It's called in pro per. You can bring a case yourself. You don't have to spend $5,000, $10,000 on an attorney. So stop this BS legal team that you say, oh, the drivers have to go and get their own attorney. They don't. The drivers have the power to represent themselves in small claims court. And what I want to show you, ladies and gentlemen, is that, for example, in the United States, just like I helped my sister in Portugal, it's the same system. There is a small claims court in place where you, the individual, can go in and demand damages and represent yourself with the basic evidence. Right? Because you will always mediate first before you go before a judge. Never, ever be afraid to go into small claims court. I have a 14 out of 14. I've taken 14 cases to small claims court. I've won every 14 because all I do is I hold up the mirror and show the evidence. Be concise, short. Most of the time you get to mediate before you see a judge. Most of the time these cases are resolved. Most of the time the drivers or the delivery drivers don't even know what power we have. So I am going to show you, right, how you can now penetrate that legal department because I have the emails. I'm going to expose the emails and I'm going to show you how to bring the cases, right? You can do this yourself. You can take the power anytime you have been wronged, anytime they are withholding $600 or $700 of your earnings, anytime they have deactivated you, anytime they have wronged you, anytime you feel you have been baited and switched, you gotta take the fight to them, right? You're gonna love the next video. Right? It's gonna be a very simple and powerful video how to take the power back as a driver, how to take the power into your own hands. And when I hear this garbage from this, like the legal team, I remember a guy called Randall Heimovicki, completely con artist at Uber, telling me, oh, I need to go out during COVID and send in these documents. And what they do, ladies and gentlemen, is, send us the documents, but then they won't receive them. They won't acknowledge them. Many a times they just send them back, right? So they arrive at the legal department. Oh, no, we're not going to take responsibility for this problem we've created. And they send it back to you. And you try again and they send it back to you. And eventually people give up. I'm going to show you how you don't give up and how you penetrate the nucleus, how you get inside those Uber legal headquarters and bring the case and hammer them. Anytime you have been wronged, bring the brawl, bring the fight to their doorstep. Go into their office and say, here it is, because man, are they trying to get crafty and not take responsibility. Oh, we're going to send it back. I'm going to give you, there's one thing that came back right here. Oh, it doesn't exist. This is the legal office here. Oh, return to sender. Uber Technologies, return to sender. Return to the sender. We will not accept responsibility. So when they don't want to accept responsibility, then you got to figure out how do you make them accept responsibility, right? And, you know, we have a great team here. We have paralegals. I'm educating drivers. I am educating drivers how to bring the fight to them. And they don't like it. They don't like it because it costs them millions and millions and millions of dollars, right? So if they don't want to take responsibility and say, oh, return to sender, then we figured out a different way, right? Or we'll send 2 or 3 letters to different departments until someone listens, and we will email directly to your server, right? And we have proof that you've received it. When they send it back to you, they say, well, we never received it. There's the right address on there. What I'm showing you, right? The right address, not to mention here. The right address, the legal department. And they say, return to sender. Because they are too coward. Because those attorneys working over there are too overwhelmed with all the cases. Why? Because of all the shenanigans and the bullshit that they try, right? And let me tell you something. I'm seeing a pattern here that, and Sergio backed me up on this, they do not want to have drivers any longer with super high trip count, 5, 10, 15, 20,000 trips, because if laws get changed in their state, they have massive class action lawsuits. So they want to do the churn and burn. They want to get someone in, 2,000, 3,000 trips, spit them out. 2,000, 3,000 trips, spit them out. They are doing everything in their power to get rid of the big earners. So you can have a 5-star rating and you can do 20,000 trips. They are figuring ways out to kick you off the platform because they are worried about future legal lawsuits in those different states. That's why they're spending so much money trying to overturn the laws in Massachusetts, in Seattle, and all these other cities, right, to their benefit. But they're not always succeeding. And the drivers are coming after them because you deserve to be paid, right? And in this video that I'm going to make, I urge you to watch it. I'm going to show you how to penetrate that legal nucleus, right? We're going to shake those attorneys up at Uber and Lyft because we demand to be heard, we demand to be paid, right? And you owe us an explanation. You can't just turn around, right? You can't just turn around and say, oh, you know what? I'm sorry, but you can't just turn around and say, oh, here, we have received feedback that you appeared to be under the influence during a recent trip, alcohol, right? Or that you were smoking marijuana. Listen, they are using excuses to kick you off the platform, and it's time for us to fight back. It's time for us to fight back, my friends, right? This is utter nonsense, right? This is a rider trying to get a free ride. Oh, and then, it seemed that you appeared to be under the influence, so we'll take you off our platform. You're using every cheap trick in the book to kick off your good riders and replace them with another person and replace them with another person, right? Because for every one person that you can kick out and extract the maximum of juice, you have 10 other people waiting in the pipeline. This is how they roll, and we're going to end it. We're going to end this nonsense. So if you haven't smashed the like button, smash it now. We're in 84. I want to get to at least 90 before I get out this live feed. I'm going to wind it down now. I've said what I have to say, right? I have, again, shown you that they think this is a privilege to work for them, right? So Sergio says, agree 100%. They're turning and burning by an 80% clip for 12 years. Onboarding new drivers is easy. Retaining them is something else. Not much blood left to squeeze out of this rock. Amen. Amen. We're on 86. We're on 88. Let's get it over 90, right? Let's please smash the like button. Or as Dustin would say, hit that thing. Thank you. Somebody just ripped down. Phoenix Fire's in the house. Hey, you just joined Recap? Hey, you just joined Recap. What does that mean? I just joined Recap. Phoenix, we're gonna build the house, man. Bring the building materials. You know it. Thank you, Phoenix. So we're on 92. I know we can get to 100. If we can get to 100 and I'm 100% satisfied and I can end this video, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna carry on until we get to 100. Right? We're on 93. Thank you. Appreciate it. Right? Hit that like button. Hey, I just joined Recap. Oh, you want a recap? You want a recap of the whole thing? Oh my gosh, I just did 63 minutes and Phoenix wants a recap. I think this was a good video, Phoenix. Not because I would say because of the ammunition that Dara gave us to hold up the mirror against him, right? We exposed some serious flaws in his thinking, right? When he talks down to people and says, oh, we should feel privileged working for them. And he addresses us as the team. And we're not even on the team. He refers to us as earners, right? So we exposed some weaknesses there and showed that he only answers to one group of people, the investors, right? This is not about teamwork. He's not a team player. We're on 99. Uno, por favor. Eins bitte. Un, s'il vous plaît. Een, asseblief. One, please. Right? One more like. Let's get it. Who's number 100? Show me. He said, Dara says, show me the money. He quotes Jerry Maguire. We're on 100. Who was number 100? Own up. Who was number 100? Who smacked the 100? It says there one at. So share the video on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever, and it says at one Uber. Put that little hashtag in there, at one Uber, right? So share the video at one Uber so that the investors and Dara see we're not gonna take his nonsense, right? And when he says you go get it, we know how to go and get it. We take care of ourselves. Please circulate the video with at one Uber. Tweet it, Facebook it, whatever you have to do. Let's get the video out, let's get it viral, and let's hold up the mirror to this fool, right? Let's hold up the mirror to this weak individual who cannot lead. Make him feel. Uber CEO is unbelievable. And my next video, watch it, I'm going to show you how to penetrate their legal department. You're going to keep them busy, right? You're going to keep them busy. And we've given them too many ways. We've shown them too many ways how to get out of the mess, right? And I call this, it's gone down even further. It just went down another $1. It went down to $22, right? Oh my God, free fall. Woo! Dara, how does it feel down there, Dara? Woo! There's Dara jumping off the cliff. Woo! 22. Started at 45. This is 50% down, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2, 3, jump. Woo! Stupido, patetico. This guy, Dara, that idiot, turned everyone against Uber. That's it. Rideshare cowboy. Thank you for saying as it is. Right? Rideshare cowboy. Rideshare cowboy. I like that name. I really like this guy's handle. There's a rideshare cowboy. Uber, Dara turned people against Uber. And the only people that are leading him following him over the cliff are those investors. Dara, where are we in the dark? Where are we right now? We don't know where we're going. We have no clue. We have no clue where we're going, Dara. Ooh, whoa, whoa, my God, I just fell into a ditch. Whoa, I just fell off the cliff. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta have some fun, right? You've got to have some fun. Conrad says most tech stocks are down right now. Yeah, okay, they are. Most tech stocks are down, but this one is really down, right? You show me stocks that are down like Uber and Lyft right now, right? Yeah, stocks are generally down, but these are really down like this. These are really far down, ladies and gentlemen. Rideshare cowboy, I'm with you. I'm talking to so many drivers. I want to give a guy in Alaska who asked me to give him a shout out. started a channel. I want to give him a shout out. Let's see, where is he? Oh shit, my private client wants me to confirm. I love it when private clients get pushy. I need you to confirm. Where is this guy? So this guy is called Last Frontier. Go subscribe. He's working on the Last Frontier in Alaska. I like his channel. He totally deserves a shout out, and I support anyone that tries. Phoenix Mayers, $2, sold my stocks long time ago. Museni says recently most riders are unhappy with Uber. Correct. All right, my friends, I need to check my schedule and get back to a couple of clients. One client just texted me and said, my son's going to pick me up. That's fine. I'm happy if your son's going to pick me up. I've got too much work. I'm glad that your son is going to pick you up because it's just too much. It's just become too much, right? And why do you think private drivers are doing so well at the moment? Can anybody take a guess why private drivers are doing so well, right? It's because when Uber and Lyft charge $554 for a Lux Black, not making this up, for a 50-minute drive. Crispy, high five. We should be striking one day a week. Coming, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, right? So $554, I go over to Uber and I'm thinking, this sounds wrong. It's a 50-minute drive in an Uber Black XL or a Lux XL, and Uber's charging the same as Lyft, right? This is why private drivers are printing money right now, because the people are not prepared to pay those rates. I can do the same trip in 50 minutes for $250. For $270, I can pay. Philly chauffeur, thank you. Can you sing like a ride share cowboy? Who sang the original? Like a ride share cowboy. That's me. Ride share cowboy. Yeah! Like a ride share cowboy. Like a ride share cowboy. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And then you can come out with your lasso there. Yeehaw! Ride share cowboy. Shut up, your lasso. Dara Khosrowshahi. Have a little fun here, have a little fun. And folks, do me a favor. Get yourself a display ride. Rideshare Cowboy throws down $2. Get yourself a display ride, displayride.com dashcam where you upload the footage directly into the cloud. And if you don't want to go that route, get yourself the best of the best, the N4 Van True. The best of the best, right? But I would prefer to have all my audio and visual in the cloud, right? And folks, please watch that next video. I'm going to show you how to penetrate the legal department. If you have any issue, any complaint, I'm going to show you how to get inside the company, because they want to barricade the doors, barricade the front doors, security. They don't want anyone in. In fact, they don't want anyone in. They want to, start returning your mail because they don't want to take responsibility because they're so overwhelmed. I am going to show you how to penetrate the nucleus. I'm going to show you in the next video. You're going to love it. So, amigos, my friends, meine Freunde, my vrienden, have a great, blessed day. God bless you all. I had a lot of fun on this live feed. 75 minutes. Phoenix is laughing my ass off. Good. Glad I made you laugh, Phoenix. If I made anybody else out there laugh just once today, thumbs up, right? Because we need to laugh. Can't be too serious and too strict. We need to laugh. right? So if anybody had a little laugh today and a little chuckle and a little smile on their face because they watched the video, my job is done. God bless you all. Thank you, everyone. Have a blessed day. Please be safe out there. Please lock your doors. Do whatever it takes, right? Make sure you know your surroundings. Make sure you know who's in your back seat. Keep on applying the pressure on social media. Keep on circulating the stories and stand up. See you all. Thank you.